yo, what's up? This is Joe Roscoe, co-host of Move Fast, Lift Heavy podcast. Welcome to the pod. If it's your first time, please rate, subscribe, leave a comment. It would be greatly appreciated to spread the good word. If you're coming back for the second time, third time, I think this is our 27th or 8th episode here. Thank you so much. We appreciate the love. If you haven't checked us out on the web yet, movefastliftheavy.com. You can check out Christian Harris's apparel and training brand, MFLH. Speaking of Christian Harris, he is the co-host here, the man that you might have come to see unless you're here for our special guest, which I'm sure you also are very interested in hearing what he has to say. But before that, let's bring on the man, the bearded man, the big calf man, the dad, the husband, the athlete, the entrepreneur, the artist, the music connoisseur, the man who puffs on cigars but really has no idea what they're all about, Christian Harris. What's up?
What up, bro?
Have you done any cigar research lately?
Any research?
On like what makes a good cigar?
No, I haven't.
Because from your previous comment, I could have just handed you trash and you've been like, oh, I like this. Good cigar. And it could have been from like the dollar store or something, you know?
No, I mean, I just love me a good cigar, you know? When you know, you know. All
right. CrossFit has officially made Monster a sponsor. So why not, if a cigar company out there wants to sponsor a CrossFit athlete, Christian Harris is ready for you, okay? I can just see the promo videos now. You're like on the true form, doing thrusters, and the barbell is like nicking the cigar in your mouth every time you're thrusting the bar overhead. There's ashes. That's like, instead of you flicking ashes with your finger, you actually just do it while you're pressing the barbell overhead. It just kind of like slightly grazes the ash to like get off.
Great.
So if you're watching on youtube.com/MoveFastLiftHeavy and you own a cigar company, or you're a Cuban over there that wants to break some rules and sponsor Christian Harris, here he is right here, folks.
I mean, why not though? Like, it's not like you're inhaling, you know?
Yeah. Well, Monster, cigars, McDonald's. Let's just bring them all in.
It's the same shit, right?
Yeah, it's money. It's green. It's rectangular. It's all the same.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's get on our guest here, eh?
Yeah. So our next guest, I've known for quite a little bit of time now. He is a multiple-year CrossFit Games athlete in the individual and team side of things. I'm looking forward to catching up with him. Saw him down in Miami. Here he is, Cody Mooney.
Let's go. Welcome to the pod, Cody Mooney.
Yes. Thank you. That introduction for Christian was classic. And as you were talking about, all I could think of is like bringing cigars into CrossFit. I thought of like the Joey Burrow video after when he went into LSU or LSU and he's like smoking that cigar in the locker room. Like, I can picture this already. Like, this is just great. Yeah.
Why not?
Cody's on board. See, Cody's on board.
You know, you want to work out. You're doing your post workout interview. You got your cigar going.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Well, Kiki, I came out a little hot here, and
that would be classic. But that would also be cool.
What's that?
It would be cool. It would be cool because, like, if you got a cigar for every event win, you could like have like a trophy collection of cigars, you know, for all your event wins. I think that'd be pretty dope.
That would be.
You're onto something.
Yeah.
All right. Enough of this.
Make an NFT, whatever you want to do.
All right. Enough of this. We'll talk off air.
Forget a real cigar. We'll just get like a cartoon drawing of a cigar and digitally put it on ourselves.
A JPEG.
There you go.
Yeah.
So Cody, you're out in London right now, right?
Yeah. So I've been in London now for pretty much since I flew back to Maine after Miami for one day. And I've been out here since. My girlfriend, we've been dating for about a year and a half now, and she lives out here in London. So I try to come out as much as I can and just see her. And obviously I can kind of work from remote and do my stuff out here when I'm here. And we were just talking about how much I do. Yeah, I love this city. It's such a good city. A lot of good friends out here. So yeah, I'll be out here for the next 2 weeks.
Cool. Talking about working remotely, what are you doing for work now?
So when COVID kind of hit, I was at Solace in New York, and I was coaching full time, still competing. And then I took on one client that Scott Perkins. So Scott's the owner of ROMWOD, and he touches one of the owners of ROMWOD, and he works on a couple of other companies that he has. But I took on him as a one-on-one. He just had some, I think, a life check a little bit on the health side, and he really kind of came to me in a way where he's like, "Hey, man, like I just really want to get my life on track with health and wellness." He's a very successful businessman, and he kind of realized that health is wealth, and without that, like nothing else matters. So I started with him about 2 years ago. So I took through COVID. It was kind of great because I was able to bring him to Maine a little bit, where I grew up, and it was kind of more the woods. It was very raw. Like pulled him out of LA, like, hey, let's just work on some stuff. And I started doing that. And then I was just seeing the business side of ROMWOD, and obviously being in the space, I love the fitness space, and being an athlete of ROMWOD back in the day. I started kind of incorporating a little bit of things there, just kind of my input and this and that. And then it started becoming a little bit more of a role where I was helping manage some of the team members. So now I still work with him on the health and wellness side. And I also work with kind of operations on the ROMWOD side of things that's not, development or the apps and coding. I don't touch any of that stuff. That's not me, but kind of just managing some of the people when it comes to media production, stuff like that, and just where we want to go with the brand. So I've been doing that for the past 2 years.
Nice.
Cool.
Good for you, man. Cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Are you still looking to compete? What's up? What do you got going on for 2022?
Yeah, well, I didn't think until Alec texted me the night before Wadapalooza, asking if I wanted to do Wadapalooza, and I was like, "Dude, I am sorry, but there's no way I could do this right now." No, man. Competing for me was wonderful, and I loved my time doing it. But in 2019, that was the funnest year I've ever done, by far, with that team. I loved everyone on it, and I loved every minute of doing it. But fortunately, we did very well at the games, and I got to have that moment where I was just like, like this was so much fun. But for me, there's a lot outside of competing. Even when I did compete, I coached full time. Because it was my way to give back to the community, and that's what I actually truly loved. It filled like my life bucket, and it's really what I like to do. I like to give people the best hour of their day, and it fulfilled what I wanted in life. And you get it, Christian, as an athlete. It's you eat, sleep, drink, everything as an athlete. You have to think about it. And I just got to a point in my life where I said no enough to life, where I was like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. I want to be able to start saying yes to life. And that just means I'm going to have to say no to competing for a while. And it's been wonderful. I'm still in the space. I'm so thankful for CrossFit. It's all my friends, everything have come through it. But for me, I don't have really any aspirations to ever compete again at the CrossFit Games. If a sanctional or something, a big event came up, and Alec hit me up 2 months before. He's like, "Hey, would you like to do this?" And yeah, I would train for it and whatnot. But even if I did qualify for the games or anything like that again, I don't think that I would take the invite to do it. I'm very happy where I'm at. I'll always do CrossFit. It's my therapy. I've been doing it since I'm 16. I need to do it every day. I love working out. But I like now being able to kind of say yes to life and help people and kind of do what my passions are that really fulfilled my stuff that I want to get done in life. So
Yeah, I mean, it's something that you hear from a lot of people that have been in the space for, I'd say, at least 5 years or so. It's like at some point you kind of go through this transition. It's like, all right, I've done this for this amount of time. Like, where do I see myself moving in these next couple of years or so? And like, I've even done that with myself.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm still competing, but it's like, as an entrepreneur, as a dad, as a husband, as like all these different hats that I wear, it's like you can't be in that competing, you can't wear the competing hat all the time. You know, there's so many other things outside of that. So, you know, I've talked about it a couple of times on this podcast, just how I've compartmentalized a lot of things, and you know, how training is primarily just 2 hours of my day now, where it used to be closer to 4. And you know, taking a lot more of my time outside of the gym to you know, just live a more well-rounded
Balanced
life,
yeah.
You know, balanced life.
Yeah. No, I mean, and I've seen that. I mean, you've been one of the athletes that I've seen go through that process, and it's super cool because it's nice to see you. I mean, you get it, and I don't want to like, I'm not giving bad vibes here, but you see sometimes like, or at least, or I felt, I'll speak from my own point of view, where I was in the space of competing, and probably my last 2 years of competing, I always had that feeling of when I was done my season, if it was after the games, if it was after regionals, I was like, do I want to do this again? And then all of a sudden the open would come around and I'd just get right back into the rut of doing it, you know? And that was just kind of like, it holds you in there. So to see athletes now like yourself and whatnot start to establish things everywhere, but then still being able to compete when you want and do all these things, it's really cool. I have much respect for what you've done. And I mean, it's really cool to see from the point of view of seeing you, like, because we've been in the East together now for, you know, since 2014. So it's good to see.
Yeah, it's funny. I was actually, before we got on this call, I was thinking about the first time that I remember seeing you, hearing about you at regionals, and like you were getting ready to punch your ticket.
Yeah.
And
that was
clean,
15.
was it the clean?
Yeah,
the
so
clean
that
ladder,
was
right?
15. Yeah, so 14 was my first year at the Reebok headquarters in Canton. And then 15 is when we went to Connecticut. And I was third and second all weekend. And then they ended with the 15 muscle ups into the squat clean ladder. And I just knew, I was like, gosh, I was 19 at the time. And I was like, man, this isn't going to be good. Like, it's just heavy. And yeah, I failed it twice in front of everyone, and went from the third to like 8th, I think, because the point spread was pretty close.
Yeah, I remember, man. My heart broke for you.
Yeah, it's all good, man. But it's a learning lesson. That's part of the sport, you know. But at the moment, I didn't know that. Like, I can look back at it now and say that. But at the moment, I was just like, yeah, I was devastated. I was crushed. But
yeah,
how did you bounce back? How did you bounce back from that?
Dude, you know what's funny? The next year, I finished 21st in the Open, so I didn't even qualify. But here's the thing: a team from Misfit Athletics in Portland qualified, so I was on that team, and that was a whole different experience for me. But it was such a good experience because some of the people I had on that team that year, that was the only time ever going to regionals, and that was my third year at regionals at this point. So it wasn't what I wanted as an athlete, but as a friend, and just to witness some people just step up and like thrive in that environment, it was one of the coolest years I've ever done it. And I really, really I loved that year for that. I have some of the best memories for it. And then the following year was when I qualified individually. That was 2017. So I qualified there individually. So then I came back from that. It's funny, man. Like, the Open was always the hardest part for me. Like, the Open was always like, I'm like, man, I can just get to the Open. Like, get me to regionals, and I feel a lot more comfortable there. So then, yeah, the following year I qualified individually, and then the year after that is when that true form, the runner went, not true form, but the runner thing happened.
We were running side by side, elbow to elbow there.
Yeah, we were. Yeah. I remember that. And then, so I finished. Would they take 3 or no? They took 5. So I finished 6 by 1 point that year. But that I got to go in.
Sorry to interrupt you. For everyone listening or watching, so 1 year in the regional, the runners'
triple
screens
threes
were triple threes. Yeah, 3,000 meter row, 300 dubs, and 3 mile run. The runner was supposed to start automatically, the screen, and the judges had said, like, no matter what, don't touch your screen. And the screens never came on. And these guys, these poor guys, Cody and Christian, are running on these screenless runners.
Well, to be fair, I touched the screen.
Oh, did
So
it go
I
on?
was the first one to this runner in the heat, and no one said anything to me. So I
Okay.
jump on the runner and I'm like 3 steps in, and all it says is press start to
Yeah.
or press OK to start. So I click the button, and then the head judge comes over instantly, and she starts telling all the other judges, don't let any of the go to the backup plan, don't let anyone else touch the button. So I
Uh-huh.
had a full monitor the whole time.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, so I had a
Everyone else had their judge behind them counting that stupid white stripe
the count of
going around and
rotations. Yeah.
around.
It was insane. And what they told me, it's like, oh, so many rotations for like a tenth of a mile. I'm like, counting reps is hard enough. It's like it was an insane number. I'm like, how can you expect that to happen? Yeah, so
Yeah.
I had like my monitor was on the full time. It was mad, man. It was crazy.
That was
Um,
actually a disadvantage, wasn't it? Didn't they? Wasn't the people
yeah,
that had the monitors off finishing quote unquote sooner than the people that had
yeah.
the
I
monitor
mean,
on?
I instantly knew because I mean, I don't want to.
No, let it
I
out.
just
Let it out.
I just instantly knew because I mean, like, I'll tell you straight up. I was like, I just admitted like I wasn't strong, blah blah, feeling that clean. Like strength has never been my good point, but like running is something that I've always enjoyed. It's always been one of my strengths. Even at the games, like I think in the run swim run, until the year before that, I finished fourth overall. So like I knew like this event would be a good one for me, and I got on the runner and I started running. I clicked the button, I was running away, and then all of a sudden, just like everyone's chest pieces were just moving, and like at an absurd, like an absurd rate. And I knew something was wrong, so I looked back at my judge. I'm like, "What's going on?" She's like,
Yeah, I remember
I
that.
don't really." Yeah, I'm like, she's like, "I don't really know what's going on," but like people are at like 800 meters. I mean, they're running like sub 5 minute miles paces, and I'm like, "What is going?" And just pass and pass and pass. So it was funny, but I mean, I took like 17th in the event, which was brutal, but I PR'd by like 3 minutes, 2 minutes, because it just made me run so hard because I realized what was happening quickly. And I'm like, if I don't kill myself in this event, like I will literally I'll screw myself for the weekend. And then at
Yeah.
the end of the weekend, I got 6 by 1 point. I was like, gosh. So that was tough. But to be fair, I was on demo team that year, and that was one of the coolest experiences I've had at the games. Getting to see the behind the scenes of that, being there a week before. Christian, you've done it as well.
Yeah.
It's just a really fun experience. Like I loved it. I got to do a mixture of both indie, team, all the other
Yep.
events, and it was just for me. It was just such a cool experience there. Obviously, again, it wasn't what I wanted, but it was wonderful being able to do
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
It's all the fun of competing without the pressure.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And like you kind of like you get out there, it's a good time, and you get to do the events. You're still like on the floor, and yeah, you're
You
right.
get
You don't have the
all the swag.
Yeah, you get all the swag, you don't have the pressure, so it was fun. I mean, I did enjoy that. You get to see a different side of, the people that work and run through CrossFit as well. It was a whole different experience. We had a good crew that year, so it was just down
Yeah.
fun.
Sometimes you don't get to appreciate actually how much that really goes into it
Yeah.
until you're a part of something like that. So
Mhm.
definitely a cool experience for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So that's a little back run, and then the next year, the following year is when I did team. So I was with, Alec, Jess, and Camille. Um, but then I did team a couple of times that year. I was in Miami with a different crew. It was Alec, Jess, and Jamie Green. And then I was in Dubai with Alec, Jess, and Danny Spiegel. And then I was at Rogue with our games team. And then we did Granite Games as well, with Danny Spiegel. Because Camille was going through like a weightlifting kind of stage in the middle. So we didn't want to we were trying to play the role of not wrecking her weightlifting, season, but then also being able to compete with her a couple times before the CrossFit Games. So, and that was the last year I competed at the Games, 2019.
Right. And would you guys place that year?
Second.
Second, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. It was fun. It was a good year.
What?
Right. That was the year I was on the demo team because I remember seeing you guys like right after on the floor. Yeah.
Yep. That was the year that you were on the demo team. Yep.
Yeah.
What just happened at Wadapalooza this year where Alec hit you up and was like, "Hey"?
So I think what happened is that something happened with Ben and Dan. They couldn't make it down, and he hit me up on I think Monday night, and he was like, yo, I need another guy. Do you want to compete? And I was just like, in my head, obviously, I wanted to a little bit because it's just, I don't know if you ever had like for people that have done experiences, like competing with Alec is one of the funnest things to do. He's just such a freak of an athlete. He'll go lift heavy and then he just pushes you as an athlete because then you'll like have to do synchro toe to bar with him and he'll be like, all right, let's just do 40 of them. I'm broken. I'm like, dude, no, but sure. Like he really makes you just push yourself as an athlete. So, I mean, obviously tempting, but I was just like, bro, thank you, but no, thank you. And obviously he found Sam. They had a great time. So, yeah, I was like, you got to give me a little bit more advance than that. I think I've been doing the bodybuilding days a few too many to be out there on the floor right now. So no, it was good though. It was funny.
Speaking of bodybuilding,
yeah,
at what was it? What the hell's the name of that gym?
CrossFit Miami Beach.
CrossFit Miami Beach. Yeah, Reebok CrossFit Miami Beach.
Yeah.
I saw you with Obi Vincent out there.
Yeah, I was with Obi yesterday. I was with Obi yesterday, and I'm gonna work out with him tomorrow. He's a good guy, man. Like I like Obi a lot. So ROMWOD, he is a really good guy. We kind of just started working with him on ROMWOD. So I wanted to get to know him. Like that interaction was kind of the first one. I was like, hey, come to Miami. We'll start filming some stuff, but like just I want to see you just down at the event, just hanging out, have a good time. And I just kicked it off with him. He's a freak of an athlete, and I love the way he trains. It's a whole different side of things. A lot of tempo stuff. He's always like, you CrossFitters, you got to slow down. I'm like, I know. But no, man, he's such a good guy. Yeah. I enjoy him a lot.
Yeah, you guys are kind of smashing yourselves out there in the back.
Yeah.
You guys hit like a nice little EMOM piece, right? With the Echo bike, and
it was 20 minutes. No, it was 15 minutes. It was 5 rounds, 3 movements. I did 15 cal Echo bike, 20 toe to bar, and then 12 burpee box jump overs.
Mm-hmm.
And cycle through that. Yeah, it's good stuff, man.
That's
what I mean now.
I remember you
still
saying
gotta get him in.
You were bringing up the bike, the Echo bike, and you were just like, man, this thing, there's no forgiveness with it. No matter how hard you push it, it just doesn't move.
I just feel like it doesn't benefit you like the assault bike. The assault bike is one of those things like, you remember those, like that workout, what year was that regionals where it was like assault bike?
2010?
Yes, because
like
it was
20 box jump overs. And then,
yes. Yeah, like you just hammer on that thing and you get there. The calories start ticking, and all of a sudden, and on the Echo bike, it's just different. Like you just give that thing something, you look down, you're at like 4, and you're like, wow.
Yeah,
that was a mistake, but you can hang a range that's like 75% and you'll still kind of gradually tick away. It's just 2 different stimulus. They're fun to train on.
Yeah. It's a beefy piece of equipment for sure.
Yeah.
We just had a piece from Christian's program, the Train with CH, yesterday. It was just simple concept, 20 minutes on the air bike, on the Echo bike, 30 seconds, 70 RPM, 30 seconds, 50 RPM. And I was telling Christian before we started recording today, I was like, yo, everyone looks at that and they're like, oh, 70 RPM, not bad. Like that's whatever. But it's actually the quote unquote, the rest 30 seconds at 50 RPM that really kicks in the ass. Cause when you're putting out the 70, the 50 is not any easier. It seems like.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if you had to do 50 RPMs, it's a joke, right? Like you would literally call that rest, but to actually have to tap in to your aerobic system after tapping into the anaerobic from like pushing harder on the 70, it's just teaching your body to go in between those 2 systems.
Yeah, I love doing stuff like that. I did a lot of that stuff like my running intervals, even on like my rest and recover. I'll just slow the pace right down. And sometimes just moving at that slow pace is just as hard as like when I pick it back up to get back into a rhythm pace.
Oh yeah.
That stuff's good, man. Yeah, it's very good.
Everyone watching on YouTube, this is a pic from Cody's timeline. This was him at Miami Beach CrossFit when we saw him that day. I always wanted to ask you about your necklace. I liked wearing that during football because I could always it would just tuck under my shoulder pads, right? But like, how do you I know Christian can manage a cigar in his mouth when doing barbell thrusters, but like, when you're, let's say, doing heavy jerks or something, how are you
I take it off.
re-wrapping that thing? Oh, you take it off. Okay, you take it off.
That's the only time I take it off. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I've had this thing now for probably 12 years. It was a Christmas gift from my parents, and it's made it through multiple gyms, multiple countries, multiple competitions. Yeah, but the only time I take it off is if I'll leave it on if if it's a light front rack, but if it's something heavy, I'll take it off. Yeah. But that's it. Yeah, other than that, I'll just leave it on.
How many times have you gotten chewed up though?
Oh, quite a few. Yeah. I got get that good line on my collarbone. luckily, I'm sure you're the same. There's not much feeling left to those things.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they're numbed about everything. Yeah.
Touche.
Yeah.
All right, so we get a little behind the scenes scoop about Cody's necklace from his parents 12 years ago. I
had that thing for a while.
I know how that goes.
I thought I lost it one time, and I was devastated. I was so a couple of years ago, I spent some time in Nice. I was over there. I kind of like coached a little bit at CrossFit Nice. It was a great time, but before I left, obviously I was at the gym like the day of my flight. I went to the gym and I was coming home, and I must have done something in the front rack that day. So it was in my pocket, because I usually put it on the windowsill. I'll put it in my pocket and I'll make sure I get it back on. And I was opening up the car, and somehow it fell down into the little pocket down there on the door. And I went to France, didn't have it. And I was like, man, I lost it. Like, I lost it at the gym, blah, blah. 6 months later, when I'm back home, I'm thinking I don't have my necklace, and I go to put my car door, and it's just sitting down in there. And I'm like, no way.
Wow.
Like, this is the necklace I just can't lose. I was so good. I was so happy.
That's awesome.
That was the only time in my life where I'm like, man, I lost it. It's gone. And then it was there. Yeah.
Christian, you got a valuable like that has been with you for a long time? I got a funny one when you're done for me.
No, not really. I mean, my wedding ring, it doesn't fit on my finger anymore because I've dislocated it so many times.
Yeah.
So it's like I can't even get it on anymore. So
Cody,
that's really
funny story about Christian's hands. So one time, Christian, was this when he got injured? Was it when it wasn't your finger dislocation? It was something else that happened.
No, I hit my hand, or I closed a car door on my hand. Was it that?
No, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. It was something unrelated to his hand. And then for some reason he had texted a picture, and it was the top of his hand. And Christian's hand, like the back of it, is kind of like balloon-like. And I'm like, so he just told me about a previous injury. And I'm like, damn, man, you can't catch a break. What happened? Did you get bit by a spider or something like that? Because it looks like his hand, the back of it is puffed up. He's like, no, bro, that's just my hand. So, yeah,
that's just the way it is.
Looks like the medical glove that you blow up, like the medical glove. My favorite possession, I got a Big League Chew bubblegum baseball hat in second grade by sending in 2 proof of purchases. So second grade, you're like 8 years old or something. I've had that hat now for 25 years.
You still have it?
Oh yeah, the brim is broken. There's duct tape on it, but like
Big League Chew. You're talking about the one that in the package
shreds.
It shreds. Yeah.
Right.
They literally made like gum after like dip, right? Like
exactly.
Yeah.
The cartoon character baseball players on the yeah. So I've had that hat for 25 some years.
You're gonna have to wear it on one of these podcasts then.
I know. I'm gonna have to bust it out. I'm gonna have to bust it out for sure. Talk to us a little bit. This will be probably our one of 2 last questions. One for me, and then Christian, if you have anything left. Just like get into that mental state of being okay with not being as competitive anymore in the sport. And it's probably might still be a daily process for you, but I know for Christian, for myself, for others that have been in athletics or CrossFit for so long, it's ingrained in you, and it's hard to let it go. And you really never do. You just have to kind of cope with it. How have you gone about that process as you're transitioning?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. It was hard in the beginning, and I think there's a multi-step process to that. I think there's two things to it. I think one is letting go of the lifestyle, which I had to do because I think again, I'm only going to speak for myself, but if you're being real here, obviously when you're competing and you do well at competing in CrossFit is growing and all that, but there's a part of the sport that you do love the lifestyle that you live. You travel a lot, not always on your own dime. You're getting invited to competitions, you're doing this, you're doing that. Like there's a good lifestyle that comes with it, enough to hold you in there. And for me, I just had to be okay with that. Like I had to be okay with letting all that go. If it meant followers, if it meant this, if it meant that. Like, and that part really wasn't the tough part for me because it never reasoned the why I did it. It was never my why or anything like that. But the part that was hard for me is realizing that, like Christian said today, like my gym time is now 90 minutes to 2 hours a day. It's not 4 to 5 hours a day doing multiple pieces. I can listen to my body a little bit more. I have a little bit more healthier, I think, of a training balance, not only a work balance. It's like a life balance, but also training. So that transition for me was the harder one. A lot of people that met me probably after now, like my girlfriend's a great example. She had no idea what CrossFit was, no clue, nothing. And she just thought I was absurd. She's just like, you could work out, you're like so much energy, this and that. But I was so used to the 4 to 5 pieces a day, constantly doing this stuff. And that one has been a little bit of a step back for me, but I've learned to balance my stuff more where, and to be fair, I feel relatively good. I still feel relatively very fit for myself. I'm maybe not as strong as I once was, but body wise, I'm not beat up. I don't wake up with aches and pains. I feel really good. I still feel like I can jump into certain things and do pretty well at it. So it's definitely the transition itself it's challenging, I think, for a lot of people because it was my life from 16 years of age until, probably 25 or 26. Yeah. Where I ate, slept, and thought about CrossFit and training and all this stuff. So it definitely was a challenge for me to step back from the so much intense training part. But for me, CrossFit taught me many lessons that I'm able to transfer over in life. And I think that has been the biggest benefit from that. Kind of like the hard parts of workouts, the suffering, the this and that. It's that transfer. Like if you think life is easy and life is a cakewalk, it's gonna slap you in the face. Like it is gonna throw you many things your way. And I think that CrossFit itself gave me a foundation to be able to handle those things. Like every day I was used to going in the gym and doing things that were uncomfortable, and I would actually do them and want to do them. So now when I get in situations that are uncomfortable and I have to handle them, for me, it's like, this isn't that bad. I'm used to these situations. I'm used to this feeling. So I think I don't want to say I've stepped back. I think I just kind of translate it and use what I learned for many years inside of different aspects now of my life to kind of encounter different moves, like relationships, this, that. Like, so it's been a really good transition, but there has been, I'd be lying to you if I told you that it wasn't a tough part for me to, realize that I didn't need to be maybe that fit. I didn't need to work out that much, like I didn't need that anymore. It was becoming unhealthy for me because it was definitely an obsession of mine to work out. Like I don't need to scroll through Instagram and be like, oh man, I should be doing this and feel that guilt factor. Like I just didn't need that anymore. So because I made that decision, I had to stick with that decision of like, hey, I'm gonna try to run with this now. So yeah.
Christian,
good for you, man.
Yeah,
Well,
good for you for sure. That takes.
Thank you.
It's not a easy pill to swallow. Christian, anything before you put Cody on the hot seat?
I got nothing. I think it's time.
All right,
cool.
Let's hot seat it up. Good luck, Cody. You're gonna need it.
Okay.
Just a couple of quick questions. Give me the first thing that comes to mind.
All right.
Would you rather move fast or lift heavy?
Move fast.
Coffee or pre-workout?
Coffee.
Current favorite sneaker?
Vejas.
If you had one movement to do for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Running.
Current favorite song? What's your jam?
Oh man, that's a tough one for me. Yeah, that one's gonna stump me, Christian. I listen to so much just different music, man. I don't know. I'm gonna have to pass on that one. I don't think I can come up with one right off the top
I'll
of my
give
head.
you a bonus one.
All right.
For the ROMWOD guy.
Yeah.
Favorite stretch?
Pigeon. We all got to do it. Everyone sits too much in this world, man.
Yeah. All right, that's all I got for you.
Wonderful, wonderful.
All right, man. That's it, Cody. Appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on to chat with us.
Of course.
Yeah, man. Good getting to catch up with you.
Yeah,
same.
You
man. In Miami. If you're ever around, come back to Miami or stay in London, like we were saying before. Like,
maybe
rush, bro.
Maybe a little bit of both. But hey, I appreciate you guys having me, and Christian, obviously, congrats on all the success, man. It's cool to see you
man. I appreciate
keep killing it and crushing it. So, yeah, thanks, boys.
Till next time.
All right, sounds good.
All right, Cody Mooney. Good to see.
Good getting to catch up with him.
Yeah. Good to see Cody working out with you all down in Miami on that turf. It's different, right? Could you imagine working out outside right now, Christian?
Like in New York right now?
Yeah, in New York. Could you imagine?
Yeah, okay. 17 degrees out today.
Wait, didn't I see Will Carter? Did he go to your house and was he doing rope climbs in the snow or something?
No, his parents have a little rig in their backyard as well. Got it. Yeah.
All right, my guy. Well, yeah, that's it. Good to chat about the air bike a bit from training with CH. With Cody, I totally agree. You can rev up that assault bike and just let it ride, but the Echo bike, the second you stop pedaling, it's over, man. It's over.
Definitely. It's the recovery. Like when you sprint on the assault bike, you can get off and feel okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But with the Echo bike, I don't know. You do the same amount of work and you're just done. Well, speaking of done, this episode is donezo. So I'll talk to you later. All right, bro? All right. I'll shut the fuck up. Yeah. Get out of here. All right. We just cut out Christian's mic. That was Cody Mooney. If you all want to follow Cody on the gram, make sure you do. That's Cody J. Mooney, Mooney. I'm Joe Roscoe, co-host of MFLH Pod. If you like the pod, please subscribe, rate, leave a comment. Go to movefastliftheavy.com, and we'll see you on the next one.